The X-Antibody, stylized in some materials as X-Antibody or X-Antibody, is a plot element from Digital Monster X Evolution, Digimon Chronicle X, Digimon D Cyber, and the related virtual pets and card games. It is an antibody that makes Digimon resistant to the X program, and most Digimon that are introduced to it also become more powerful than their normal counterparts. They are differentiated from their original forms by the suffix X or X-Antibody. There are also many species of Digimon who are natural carriers of the X-Antibody, and do not have a separate original form. During the events of Digimon Chronicle, the X program was used to delete Digimon overpopulating the old digital world, but strong enough Digimon with strong survival instincts resisted the effects of the X program, and were able to survive by altering their digikers. These Digimon were reborn in a form that incorporates X program itself into their digiker, and thus created the X-Antibody. However, X-Antibody in Digiker will disappear if it continues to be exposed to the X program for an extended period of time, but this can be prevented by absorbing more antibodies. Also, Digimon without X-Antibody can also acquire it by stealing it from other Digimon who have it. This makes baby Digimon like Tokamon X, a rare case of baby Digimon acquiring the X-Antibody, an easy target to get it. But Digimon that naturally possess the X-Antibody, such as Alphamon, Tobukatmon, or Metalparamon, do not need to acquire more, as they carry a type of X-Antibody that does not disappear from their bodies. When a Digimon carrying the X-Antibody dies and is sent to the dark area, a replica of the X-Antibody is usually found there as residual data. Still, all the replicas discovered quickly disappeared. Over time this changed. The X-Antibody, influenced by the strong survival instinct in its carrier's digiker, developed a self-preservation function. Consequently, the replicas of the X-Antibody in the dark area stopped disappearing, and were eventually altered to be able to be ported, as if they were normal X-Antibody. These replicas can be supplied to other Digimon as a serum, allowing them to undergo an X evolution, and thus prevent or recover from the X program. Furthermore, the type of X-Antibody that does not disappear can be obtained by absorbing the data of any Digimon that carried it naturally. Levels of X-Antibody. The effects of this antibody differ depending on the concentration of antibodies present on the digiker, so in order to tell apart X-Antibody Digimon from regular Digimon, Yggdrasil created the X-Antibody indicator, a system later implemented on the Pendulum X. There's a total of 3 levels of X-Antibody. First level, weak, also known as X-Antibody protoform. At this level, the X-Antibody only grants resistance to the effects of the X program. Second level, normal. Apart from granting resistance to the X program, at this level the X-Antibody also has the ability to directly affect the digiker and extract information on a high degree, thus manifesting a Digimon's properties hidden in the deepest part of its digiker. Therefore, the potential shown by these Digimon does not compare to conventional Digimon of the same level. Third level, strong. The characteristic of the strongest X Digimon. Effects of the X-Antibody. X evolution is the most associated effect to the X-Antibody. This kind of evolution happens when the levels of X-Antibodies reach the second level, and the hidden data of the Digimon's digiker is extracted, changing its appearance. A side effect of this evolution, just like in many others, is that the Digimon also gets healed from its previous wounds, and most of its stamina is recovered. Since the X-Antibody extracts the hidden data on a Digimon's digiker, the side effects will also depend on what and how much data there is to extract. Depending on the Digimon, this can create new weapons, upgrade previous ones, grant Digimon new attacks and/or abilities, upgraded armor, and even repairing corrupted data on the user's digiker. However, this also means that if the Digimon in question has already manifested naturally its latent abilities, then the X-Antibody won't have much effect on it, and thus, its appearance won't change much either. Death X evolution. The Death X evolution, also known as the evolution of death, is an old relic of evolutionary research that artificially increases the survival instinct to its limit, causing a Digimon to overcome the very concept of mortality, by incorporating other digikers to its own, making the Digimon undergo a special type of evolution known as Death X evolution. Digimon normally cannot access to this kind of evolution on its own, and it can only be triggered by a third party that knows how it works, like Yggdrasil or Grand Dracumon. X program, also known as Digimon Elimination Program and Particle Worm, is a program created by the host computer Yggdrasil in the year 2003, in order to optimize its own capacity during the Project Ark. This program was made to systematically delete every single Digimon, but can also be used to forcibly remove foreign molecules and purify the digital world, as used in Digimon World Redigitized Decode to expel Vidium from the digital world. During the events of Digimon Chronicle, the X program was used to delete Digimon overpopulating the old digital world, but strong enough Digimon resisted the effects of the X program, and were able to survive by altering their digikers. These Digimon were reborn in a form that incorporates the X program itself into their Digicur, and thus created the X-Antibody, an antibody that grants resistance to the X program. Also, as shown in Digimon Chronicle X, after being released, the concentration of X program will naturally decrease over time. Project Ark. Due to the large amounts of data accumulated by the process of evolution and the flow of information that arrived from the network, the old digital world reached its maximum capacity. If this situation was not resolved, a digital hazard would occur and the old digital world would explode, killing even Yggdrasil itself in the process. So, to prevent this, the host computer Yggdrasil initiated the Project Ark, a multi-step emergency plan which consisted of creating a new digital world outside of Yggdrasil, so that the data would not be stored on the host computer itself. Chosen Digimon like the Royal Knights would then be transported to this new world, and the other 98% of Digimon remaining would be deleted by the Program X, a special program made to systematically delete every single Digimon. Even so, strong enough Digimon resisted the effects of the X program, and were able to survive by altering their Digicurs. These Digimon were reborn in a form that incorporates the X program itself into their Digicur, and thus created the X-Antibody, an antibody that grants resistance to the X program. These Digimon fled to the new digital world in order to escape from the influence of the X program, but Yggdrasil, detecting them as foreign molecules, deployed the Royal Knights to eliminate them. But, to effectively erase these Digimon, Yggdrasil also awakened the Death X from the depths of its storage, an old relic of evolutionary research that artificially increases the survival instinct to its limit, causing a Digimon to overcome the very concept of mortality, by incorporating other Digicurs to its own, making the Digimon undergo a special type of evolution known as Death X evolution. However, this led to the birth of Death X-Mon, dangerous program that isn't even a Digimon, and that was now endangering the new digital world.